To order the Board of Adjustment meeting of April 16th, 2026 is now in session. Would you please do the roll call?
Dustin Brown. Charity Campfield.
Here.
Curtis Claybaugh.
Here.
Michael O'Donnell.
Here.
Aaron LeBlanc.
Here.
Linda Burt.
Here.
Chair, you have a quorum.
And I think we have a quorum, so I will go ahead and ask if everyone's had a chance to read the minutes from our last meeting, which was February 19th.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that the meetings be, the meeting minutes be approved. Is there a vote, please? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We have one request. Would you like to read that request, please?
Item A, request PUDC 26-56, conditional use request to allow multifamily within the MR zone located at 3115 Dillon Avenue. The agent is Brandon Swain and the case planner is Morgan Dennis.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to testify on this report? In support, thank you.
Oh, staff workers.
Oh, thank you. Staff report first. And I actually had that written.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Morgan Dennis, Planning and Development. This is a conditional use request to allow multi-dwelling buildings at 3115 Dillon Avenue. This parcel is located in the MR medium density residential zone district and is surrounded by additional MR zones. The future land use map designates this area as urban residential, a designation that promotes a variety of residential types. Currently, there are two structures existing on the property, a house which has been granted an administrative adjustment to decrease the required frontage for a SD3 lot to allow for a duplex on the lot and a detached garage. Currently, there are no submitted plans to remove either of these existing structures. The applicant is only requesting an additional unit. It is noted that an approval of this use for this parcel would classify this parcel as an MD3 lot type, which allows for a building to be 3 stories tall or 5 stories with conditional review. Surrounding structures are primarily 1-story single-family residential houses. There is a multi-dwelling development to the west of this site that stands at 2 stories. Operating characteristics would be in line with the surrounding area. Traffic patterns are expected to be similar as any residential development. With existing alley access and parking area in the rear, front or on-street parking would not be appropriate for the property. Staff has received concerns from neighbors in regards to parking and potential developments of a larger multi-dwelling development. It was explained that the applicant has expressed that they were only adding a single residential development to the site, and parking would likely be delegated to the rear of the property through a potential site plan. Staff is recommending a few conditions for this property for this use. First is to keep the number of dwelling units allowed on the property to be 3. Second, any structure constructed would be limited to 2 stories. And lastly, all residential parking for the property shall be located in the rear with alley access. And I stand for questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Madam Chair, I do have a couple.
Yes, please.
Morgan, can you help me with the picture? The existing structure is a duplex already? Is that right?
The existing, Madam Chair, through you, the existing structure is technically a single family dwelling. That is what the Laramie County assessor has classified it as. But they have gone through the administrative adjustment process through our office to allow that structure to be a duplex.
All right. So it's not yet a duplex.
It's not yet, not to our knowledge.
And then the third structure is going to go somewhere in the backyard there. Is that right?
staff is unaware of that plan, that exact plan. I would leave that to the applicant to explain.
I'll talk to the applicant. Thanks a lot.
Are there any other questions? All right, thank you. Is there anyone here from the applicant to talk about this, testify on this particular application? Would you state your name and your address, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the Board of Adjustment, good evening. Brandon Swain, agent for the applicant, 3201 Cheyenne Street.
And when you raise your right hand, please.
Yes,
And do you swear to tell the truth and only the truth in this matter under consideration before the board?
yes,
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
great. So first off, Morgan, thank you. That was a great presentation. Just to be mindful of your time, I don't have much more to add, just a few clarifications. The applicant is agreeable to all the conditions set forth. Our intention is only to add one unit. So of course, we're agreeable to cap this at 3. Did try to put that this was pursuing a 3-unit building in the notification letter, but we needed to amend that to a multifamily dwelling. So I do apologize to some of the neighbors if the perception is that we're going to exceed more than 3 units. We're not. They're also agreeable to the parking in the rear. To answer Mr. O'Donnell's question, we're not quite sure on how the 3rd unit is going to be constructed. I'm assuming it's likely going to be reconfigured in the basement because the nature of doing an addition or significant remodel of this scope is likely going to trigger the existing dwelling into current code compliance, which is very difficult to do with these houses that are built nearly 100 years ago. I will speak for the applicant. They are Lindby's houses. They have a tremendous track record, cleaning up dilapidated properties throughout the city. They've also grown a very strong rental portfolio. So I expect good tenants, tenants who are mindful and high expectations from the landlord on any future tenants in this building. That being said, I stand for any questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Brandon, so am I tracking you that this is going to become a 3-plex, you believe?
Yes, yes. So the nature of the zone district, and would invite staff to interject at any time if I'm incorrect. But the zone district does allow duplex use by right. So any lot in this zone district, assuming that it meets the frontage requirements, is inherently allowed to do a duplex. There are lot width minimums that are required within the UDC. So I'm not surprised that the applicant had previously sought administrative adjustment to allow that reduced frontage because the nature of these lots and houses is that they were just platted smaller. And then I think their intention is to explore the 3rd unit because they do have abundant parking along the rear alley. If it is a 3rd unit and it's inside of the basement, it's likely going to be a 1-bedroom unit, which only requires 1 parking space within the UDC. So my perception and that of the applicant is we should be able to accommodate plenty of the parking rear loaded. They were prepared to offer a front loaded driveway if need be. But it seems to be that staff's expectation is that all that parking is facilitated in the rear.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there other questions? Please.
So my question is, you have one existing structure you're turning to a duplex. You're wanting to add a second structure on the lot. Is the plan to eventually subdivide the plat to separate the 2 buildings?
No, and if I may clarify, Madam Chair, through you, I don't know for certain that the 3rd unit will be in addition. I suspect in my experience, which I have quite a bit with these infill properties, is it's probably not equitable to build a new 3rd unit to run its own water and sewer, likely have it separately metered. So my assumption is that they're likely going to try and accomplish the 3rd unit within the basement of the building. However, I will entertain a hypothetical scenario. If they did build a unit on the south half of the lot, for lack of a better term, that appears vacant, that would result in a non-conforming property if they ever tried to plat that. I believe the minimum frontage that you can have for a single-family dwelling is 30 feet. That would be likely a DD8 lot type, which is an NR3 zone. So they would have to rezone this. Every neighbor would get a letter, multiple hearings through City Council, Public Service Committee, and even if that made it, it's still a non-conforming lot with frontage. And Mr. O'Donnell will testify. I've done some pretty aggressive projects, but that would be too aggressive. So I suspect that this will not entertain any future plat action.
Other questions? I have a question. in looking at that lot, there is a separate unit on the back of that lot that is a separate building from what I saw when I drove by it. So my question is, does that building stay, or was I not looking at the proper place? Also, it seems like there's not a lot of room back there for parking. I mean, it's a small lot. So do you know something about that building in back? And that building in back is labeled a studio apartment, and it's 3117.
So Madam Chair, through you, the most honest answer is I don't know. I assume that the back unit was a detached garage, which would count for one parking space. The lot is likely at least 35 to 36 feet wide. UDC requires 8.5 feet minimum width for parking. So my perception is that whether that's a studio in the back or an apartment, we're still able to accomplish the satisfaction of parking requirements with what the lot frontage currently allows, and then with what we can allow in the alley. But I do apologize. I don't have a succinct, concise answer for you on that.
It seems to me that maybe that building at one point was a garage and it was turned into a small studio apartment. And I guess my concern after looking at the area and the houses is still parking. But is there anyone else that would like to testify on the application?
In support
Yes.
of the application, I suspect not. I guess I'm cautiously optimistic that there's others in the audience. I will clarify that if this motion passes tonight and able to make this legal and conforming to the planning department, the applicant will have to go through a site plan process, which they'll have to indicate meeting landscape requirements, setback requirements, and parking requirements as well.
All right. Thank you.
Madam Chair, thank you.
All right. It's time for public comment. If there are individuals that would, from the public, would you please come up? And would you give your name and address, sir? I'm sorry.
My name is
Thank
Edward. My name is Edward Henson, and I live at 3121 Dillon Avenue. Looking
Sir,
at the
before you go ahead, would you please raise your right hand? And do you swear to tell the truth and only the truth in this matter under consideration
Yes,
before the
ma'am.
board? Thank you.
looking at the site plot, that building you were talking about out back is a detached garage. The one you were talking, a studio apartment, is the property next to it, in which then they have two apartments in the building in front of it, which is an A, B, and B essentially. So we get all kinds of parking there from that. You assume one car, sometimes there's two cars per place. Across the street at the multi-family, the one that faces Randall, their garages faces Dillon. There's a minimum of 8 cars just for a fourplex. The multifamily that's across the street from me on Dillon, their garages are on Day. They don't park in the garages, they park on Dillon.
Mhm.
There's 5 cars for that. You know, it's just, and then the A, B, and B, like I said, it's even no bigger than the house that they want to put a triplex in. So it's like, how can you put 3 places in that building?
And let me ask you a question now. When you said there's an Airbnb, is that the
That's
house
the
that's?
3117 Dillon.
Okay, okay,
That's what that is.
okay.
And so there's an upstairs, a downstairs, and then that
And then
studio
that
apartment
back.
out back.
All right.
And the parking situation just gets worse every year because more and more of these places are being converted into these multifamily things, essentially destroying the single family house units around the neighborhood. I can just see a problem with parking now. Plus, I was informed by at one time with the city sanitation, eventually our trash pickup is going to move to the street, not the alley. So then you're going to have that problem. If you go in the alley where they're saying the parking is, okay, if they put a triplex, who has 1 car? Everybody has 2 cars now. They're not going to be able to put 6 cars back there. And it's a narrow alley. It's rough. It's going to get tore up even worse. The city grades it maybe once or twice a year is all. So I'm against it. You know, I mean, ever since we'd lived here, which is 1967 when my family moved into that house, the only time I hadn't lived there was my service in the Army. It's always been a single family dwelling. And now they want to expand it to 2 or 3. Doesn't make sense to me.
Thank you, sir. Are there other questions of this gentleman?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Come on up. And your name and address, please.
My name is Patrick Ellis. I live at 3213 Dillon Avenue.
And would you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth and only the truth in this matter under consideration by the board?
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I live at 3213. My number one concern is just the overall condition of the neighborhood. There is no less than 12 to 14 multifamily units on that block of Dillon Avenue as it is. It creates a very disconjoined neighborhood. You end up with a lot of people moving in and out continuously. The property to the north of me, it has a second unit in the basement. Property directly west of me has at least 4 units in it. And then you have the multifamily units, which is 8 total on Dillon. So, and as Ed said, there's 3 units that Airbnb short-term rentals right next door to this property of consideration. As a young family, I have, child, I would like to see a more conjoined neighborhood where, families can get together and get to know each other, rather than continually have, different people moving in and out. So parking is also of concern because, the neighbor to the north of me has no more than 4 vehicles between the 2 people that live there. The 4 units across from me at, I believe that one is 3214 Dillon. That is anywhere from 4 to 5 vehicles as well at that place. And as more cars show up to the south of our properties, it just continues to get more and more congested. So those are my concerns.
Thank you. And does anyone have any questions of this gentleman? Any other questions? Thank you for your testimony, sir. Other individuals from the community, public comments, please come up. Your name and address, please, and thank you.
Christina Shealy, 3205 Dillon Avenue.
And would you raise your right hand? And do you swear to tell the truth and only the truth in this matter under consideration by the board?
I do.
Thank you.
I just wanted to let you guys know that I understand both positions and I understand the housing seriousness of it. The parking is really, really bad. And during Frontier Days, it's an absolute nightmare for everyone. You wouldn't think all the way up at the park, but they're all the way down in front of our houses now. At night, there is nowhere to park. They're physically parking on other streets when they live on our street. Even though I do see both sides of it, my biggest issue is the constant traffic of humans in and out of those Airbnbs. It makes me nervous. They park illegally. They do whatever they want. And they're coming and going all night, all day. So every day or two, day and night, there are different people who choose when to obey the traffic laws, and it's creepy. So even though I understand both sides, I wanted to tell you guys that because it's kind of scary living there because of the Airbnbs and the traffic and people not following the law all the time. And that's all I wanted to tell you.
Any questions? Thank you for your testimony. Are there any other comments? All right, at this point in time, I will close the testimony. Comments from the board.
Madam Chair, if I might, sort of as a point of order, what I would propose doing is I'll make the motion that's recommended by the staff.
Okay.
And hopefully get a second. And then we can have a conversation and we can either vote in favor of it or vote against it on the positive motion. Sometimes when you do a motion
Thank
to
you.
deny, you end up getting backwards.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if that's
That's
suitable to
absolutely
you,
appropriate. Sure.
I will move to approve the project subject to staff's recommended conditions.
Second.
Second? All right, thank you. Now we can have some discussion
All right, if I may.
on
Madam
the
Chair.
motion, please.
Good comments from everybody. Thank you very much. Don't forget, members of the board, that all we're doing at this stage is approving a conditional use. It must go through the site plan process, and all of the concerns that have been raised by the folks in the audience have to be addressed in the site plan process. I just offer that out there, and I'll stand down. Thank you.
Thank you. That's an excellent point. Other comments, please?
Basically, I was going to make the same comment because I will be supporting the staff recommendation for approval. But I believe that through the site process, the site plan, everything should be addressed. So the way it stands right now may not be approved if they don't comply. So I do believe your concerns will be addressed, but we're really need to sort of back what the recommendations are, because they've met the legal requirements as a minimum. So I think we're sort of forced to support that. They're not violating. However, I do believe that the process will shake it out at the end.
Thank you. Other comments? Are we ready for a vote?
Call for the question.
If you'd go ahead with the roll call.
Charity Campfield,
Yes.
Curtis Claybaugh,
Yes.
Michael O'Donnell,
Aye.
Aaron LeBlanc,
Yes.
Linda Burt.
Yes,
Chair, the motion passes.
thank you. And I think we are now on to any other business or any announcements that
Chair,
we
I
have.
just wanted to also add with that last item. Currently, the city does not regulate Airbnbs at all. And so we don't have any regulations to deny any type of Airbnb at this point in time. And if that is something that neighbors are concerned about, they should be speaking to their city council members.
Good point. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
may I ask Aaron a question?
sure.
In the annual review that City Council conducts of the code, are there Airbnb provisions that are under consideration?
We don't have any at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a very good point for people to remember. You might want to talk to your city council member about the Airbnb issue, because I don't think it's going to go away. Other business or announcements?
We do have someone online. I think it might be Charles Bloom.
And Chair, members of the board, Charles Bloom, Planning and Development Director. Sorry about that. I was not able to make it into the meeting in person today. Airbnbs, yeah, we've had that as an annual review topic a couple of different times in front of the governing body, and actually the city council as well. And they have not directed us to proceed with any regulations on those. In talking with other Wyoming communities, Airbnbs they're really, they take a lot of staff and a lot of time and a lot of resources for any type of enforcement. So they're problematic for smaller communities that are operating on shoestring budgets. So we haven't been able to move forward with that. So we don't have any plans to move forward with Airbnbs. We treat them simply as short-term leases. Secondly, regarding announcements that we have is I don't really have anything of substance. I defer to Aaron and Morgan and anyone else that's there. And the only thing I would like to note is we are presently looking at a unified development text amendment that would essentially separate covered carports and identify them as their own independent structure that's different from accessory use. This would be to set standards for those type of structures to allow them in other areas of the lot, notably provisions for side yards and front yards, because people like to build them and people want to build them. And then if they ask for permission, they usually end up being disappointed because they can't build them where they want them. So our goal is to create set of standards and a process that would bring them to you all, the Board of Adjustment, for consideration. So that's the only update that I have.
Thank you. Is there a motion for adjournment? Thank you. We are adjourned.